Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here now, Scala with the Pop XP, and I'm back. It's been great. I was on a 1-week vacation. I took 1 week. I'm back. I'm ready. Mr. Tucci will be joining us in the later half of the first hour. He is out for a lovely dinner with that Deborah of his, that beautiful wife who really keeps everything together at Crusade Comics. But joining me tonight, and he's also our first guest and a great co-host. You guys seen him on the Weekend Pop, and you've also seen him on Crowdfunding Comics promoting some of his amazing books that are out there. And today we've got him on. We're in the last hour of his campaign. So without further ado, everyone, please welcome Caleb Thusat to the show. Caleb!
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Welcome back. It's good to have you back on the stream. I like streaming with you.
Yeah, man.
So what's new?
It's been a crazy couple months. Yeah, for sure. Just doing a lot of shows, working on books. I got a lot of stuff going on with Supercats since it got picked up by Scout Comics. So it's just been I've been trying to get all that stuff pumped out for them while trying to do everything else. So yeah, it's a learning process, but it's awesome. We're in the campaign, running the new campaign for the new book, and it's already funded. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Very cool. So what is this? So now you know you're with Scout Comics with this book. I mean, have you seen a big change now being part of the Scout family?
Well, I think it's a little different. It's definitely different because I'm not living by my own timelines anymore. So I have a whole new world of, since they're doing this magazine, it's like a quarterly magazine where I'm putting short stories of Supercats, and it's kind of become like I'm constantly working on these deadlines and making sure we have art for them. And it's a learning process because I'm so used to just doing it all myself. So, trying to work with an editor and have his feedback too, which is all good stuff, but it's like, it's a whole new spin for me. And, running a campaign in the middle of trying to deal with all that just gets kind of crazy. But, we're finishing up the Flytrap book and we're getting this one made, and the Scout's going to launch 2 books of Supercats for their Scoot imprint like by November. So yeah,
cool.
we're running all gears, moving forward on this thing. So
yeah. So now Supercats can be ordered through Diamond.
They use Luna just like the DC service. So you can get it there. Everybody can get through that. It's in previews as well. So yeah, you can get the Frontiers magazine. Actually, that should be out like next week in comic shops. So we'll start seeing the first stories of Supercats through Scout Comics starting this month. So
that's cool, man. That's cool. Now the shorts that you're writing, are you taking bits and pieces from what you've already published, or is this brand new material?
This is all new stuff. It's all fun. So the first one's kind of just like an intro to the characters. So it's just like a fun little superhero story with the 2 cats. And then going forward, it's going to be like KICKSTARTER magazine where there's kind of like a theme to it. So the second book's going to be like a space theme. So I had to write a story that kind of had something to do with outer space in it. So it's fun. You get like a prompt to work with. I've never really gotten that. So it gave me a new challenge, and I actually am really happy with the stories that are coming out for these things. And it's fun. It's like a comic strip that you get to write with your characters that you've already established. Cool. So it's really fun.
That is cool. That's neat. And we got a JC Vaughn in the house. JC, great guest lineup tonight, Nile. Thank you, JC. I think, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that when we were pulling this together. So let's bring it up, man. Let's check it out. So we've got Supercats Mewow. Sure. And yeah, so you've met your goal. You are in the last 53 minutes of this campaign, so it'd be great if we could see this hit 3,000, if anyone's willing. And
yeah, so if this hits 3,000, I just announced to the backers themselves too. If we hit 3,000, I'm going to give everybody a digital coloring book that they can print out as well for their kids. So it's like a 40-page thing. There's going to be. We did one before, but I'm kind of like revamping it and adding new stuff to it. It's just something fun to add in there for everybody.
Yeah, very cool. Well, let's check out your campaign video.
Hello, my name is Caleb. I'm the writer and creator of Supercats. Welcome to the exclusive edition of Supercats Mewow. Although this is the third book of the Supercats series, Mewow is actually a prequel story to the original 2 books. This book tells the adorable tale of how Mewow became a superhero. Supercats Mewow is much more of a traditional children's book, introducing repetitive sounds and simple words with the same whimsy and style of the original 2 Supercats books. The Supercats books are a unique series of books. They're made to introduce children to reading through both traditional children's book style and comic book format. Step by step, these books will get more challenging for readers, leading them on a path from early reading all the way to a planned all-ages comic book series. So welcome. Let's read together. And remember, this edition of Supercats Mewow will only be available during this Kickstarter campaign.
So let's go back to what actually inspired you to even start Supercats.
So that's what this book's all about, right? Like this is how I pitched the series. Okay, so like I wrote this for my son when he was 2. I wanted to start teaching him reading and simplistically, and I also wanted to like kind of usher him into comic reading. And I thought, man, this is like a perfect idea. Like take that grand idea that like J.K. Rowling had for kids growing with books and make it really simple to the point of like teaching a kid to read with comic books so that they get what it is and they get involved with comics at an early age. So my whole idea is hopefully this helps to kind of usher in a new generation of comic readers with these characters. And we're actually planning, we already have it planned. I have the script almost finished for the first issue of the all ages comic book that's going to launch next year, so that, you know, we step by step, we already have 3 steps technically here that you can get. And it basically word sounds, simple, up to 3 panels. And then we have like a very simple comic book that's an 8x8 still children's book. And then the next book will be an all ages comic series.
Oh, nice. And that's all going to go through the Scoot imprint
yeah,
of Scout?
Yeah, everything. And I'll still be doing some kids books as well. They're like in this kind of age range. But then once we start the all ages series, we're kind of going to hop back and forth so that we can keep kind of doing something for everybody, you know. And I want the series to grow with kids. So the whole point was to kind of build this for my son as he grows, to keep learning with it. And I thought, well, heck, this is a chance for a bunch of other people to come along for the ride, right? And so that's what I'm hoping.
Very cool. Yeah. And I have the Supercat books, and my boys are, you know, like a year younger than your son. And, you know, they love it. You know, it's right there in their library. You know, it's one of the books that me and my wife read to them periodically among their, well, they're now getting into a big Superman Batman. Like one of them's like all about Batman. The other one's all about Superman. So they've got their Supercats, the Superman, their Batman books, and then some other weird books. But no, man, it's cool. And what's great about you, and for those out there, I mean, yes, we're talking about a children's book right now, right? And we're always trying to, you know, we want to introduce the next generation, and we want to introduce our kids, our maybe your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, a friend's kid, whatever it could be. You know, this is a great way to introduce them into the world of comics and into the world of reading. And you know, But but just so you guys do know, that's not all that Caleb does. He appeases to all rights. Right now, he's campaigning for a children's book. Before that, he had Flytrap, which is an awesome time traveling adventure geared towards, older readers and what have you. And he's got
still available on Indiegogo, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. So you can head over to Indiegogo and check out Flytrap, which is awesome. I can't wait for that book to come out. When is that going to be in the hands of backers?
Man, the production has been a chore for that one. So we had some computer issues with our main artist, and then the colorist has actually been working on, I don't know if you're familiar with Source Point Press is doing like a series called Broken Gargoyles. He's been working on that with them. So like the timing was just off a little bit. He had to push through that before he could dig into ours. So it'll be out within a month. I'm certain at this point, because he's like nearly done with the coloring. But yeah, it's been a long process, but man, the stuff that's been coming out between the artist and colorist with that series is just I'm by far the most professional and well put together book that I've done so far. I'm really happy with it. And
that is live on Indiegogo still?
Yeah, you can just go to flytrapcomic.com and it'll take you right to it still.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm looking to get it and bring it up here. Flytrap. Nice. So you got that going, this going. Are you going to bring Supercats over to Indiegogo or no?
I'm probably just going to let it sit for this one, just because we did a very specific Kickstarter exclusive edition. So I had the artist make a cover specific for this, and just I don't want to have any bad blood by making selling that book to other people. So this is that. You got 46 minutes to get this edition of the book, basically. Like we're going to print it once, and then it's going to be off to Scoot to print for their edition, and that's that for this book. So,
oh, nice. All right. Well, and I apologize. I'm getting a thing here saying there's an unstable connection with StreamYard right now. So if I'm coming a bit blurry, I apologize. But if I can bring this over. What's that? Yes,
You're unstable now.
Mentally and mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm just a wreck. Yeah. So real quick, I know we're here trying to support Supercats, but Flytrap's also available here on Indiegogo. If you guys are interested, and I'll add this to the link to this show. But right on Indiegogo, Flytrap. Really quick. I mean, do you want to play the video so everyone can see what it's about?
How about I just pitch it real quick?
Pitch it real quick.
The video. So this is a crazy idea that I had. I love Back to the Future and Terminator, so I wanted to write something along those lines. And it's about a guy that creates time travel and is instantaneously approached by himself from the future to figure out how to get rid of time travel because it ruins everything. And really the core of the story is that the movie The Fly, the remake with Jeff Goldblum, was like the inspiration for him to create time travel. So the whole plot is really him going back in time to stop the movie The Fly from existing. So it's kind of funny, there's some crazy serious stuff in there too, but I just love time travel stories that kind of like are in that one timeline, right? And like you go back and things change, and instead of having that multiverse stuff, it's like the throwback nostalgic time travel story. And this is the guy that did Nook with me with the art, and Robert Nugent, the colorist, who's on Broken Gargoyles right now too. And it's just they're doing together. They've done such an amazing job with this book. And
yeah.
I just can't wait for everybody to see it, because yes, it's taken a little longer than we anticipated, but man, it's going to be well worth the time we put into it.
Oh, I bet I love the interiors on this, and Nook is such a beautiful book. So to see that art style back into another book is great. His sequential art works great. His panel works great. You have some awesome covers.
Yeah, with Joe St. Pierre of Spidey fame do a variant on there. You can still grab that variant on the Indiegogo, I believe. So I think
Nice.
that's the only one. We had another variant that was kind of a Kickstarter exclusive that we did.
Yeah, that one was cool. That was like a Rick and Morty homage, right?
Yeah, it was like Rick and Morty, Back to the Future kind of thing going on. But it was very cartoony and fun.
Nice. Well, TJ James just threw the TJ and Harrenberg threw the link in the chat for you guys if anyone wants to check it out. But back to why we're here, and that's for Supercats Mewow. There is 43 minutes left of this campaign. So if you can, you're watching this out there live right now. If you want to give this a share on your Twitter, your Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're doing, if you're live right now and want to give a shout out, please do so. Let's give some support over to Supercats Mewow for my man Caleb.
Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
This book's not like a cash cow, right? But it's like for people with kids that want to bring them into comics, and I feel like there's not enough of that out there, especially on crowdfunding. It's all geared towards the older crowd. So I'm like, man, I don't care. I'm going to go for it. And these books are getting funded and they're getting made, so it says something that people keep coming back.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they're great books. They really are. They're great books. Like I said, I have them and my kids love them. And, it's helping bring them into this world, this comic book world, because now they're seeing that, they're seeing Superman, Batman, Supercats, they're seeing Spider-Man. They're starting to get into stuff, which is great. And, the kids really do love these books. I think my buddy Brian even picked up your last Supercats campaign. For his daughter because she liked the one, but man, that's pretty cool, dude. Keep it up with that and keep up all the other books. What do you have going on outside the world of Supercats? Are you working on any other books?
I got so much stuff. I'm overdoing it at this point. I have a Peter Pan story that's like kind of like a spiritual sequel to the Hook movie, Steven Spielberg Hook movie that I'm writing. It's based during the pandemic, some idea I had during the pandemic. But actually Marcelo, the guy that did the art for Nook, is going to be working on that with me too.
Cool.
Which is pretty exciting. I have another kids series that's about video games that I'm working on, and man, it's just a lot of stuff. I got a little bit of everything going on, but trying to get as much writing done in the next 6 months as possible, because I'm gonna go full gear into getting a bunch of these books made. So
nice, man. Nice. Well, you work hard, you deserve it, dude. And it's great having you back on the stream, man. I hope we get to do some more of this, especially with the crowdfunding comics series. Because I know that the Week in Pop, man, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. It's fun to get into the discussion, but it's a lot of media material to go through. And if you guys are interested, tomorrow night, every Thursday, 9:30 p.m., the Week in Pop. This week we're talking The Green Knight that just came out. We'll be talking Masters of the Universe Revelation, Superman, son of Kal-El, for truth, justice, ... A little bit of controversy with that book. Really great book. That Amazing Fantasy came out. Marvel's doing again a new series. Actually, is really fun. It's one of the best things from Marvel that I've read in a long time. Mutiny Magazine. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. It's Mutiny Magazine just came out. It's a magazine for comic book creators, comic book fans, focused on indie and mainstream. Foursquare Comics, really cool magazine. We talk a little Final Fantasy 14. We got special guests Pete Gilmore and Mandy Summers with their new book, Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter, which will be pretty cool to check out. But so every Thursday 9:30, come hang out with the Week in Pop crew and see what other shenanigans pop up and how sober we may or may not be. Who knows? Who knows with that show? But hey, Caleb, we got another guest ready to come on. We're going to chat about his book. So everyone, please welcome Nandor Fox Shaffer to the show. What is going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, Nile. What's up, guys? Hey, Caleb. This is so fun. I'm so glad to be here. And that's the first time I've ever had an animated intro for myself. So I feel so privileged right
Nile
now.
doesn't mess around, man. He
I
does
don't
the
mess
real
around.
deal.
I don't mess around. It's about production value here. It's production value.
I love it.
But welcome back. So for those that don't know, this is your second appearance on Crowdfunding
It
Comics.
is.
I think you're on first for your book Seasons.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, for this volume right here, Seasons Volume 2, I was on during the campaign in last October, and it funded and is a beautiful book. I'm still fulfilling it right now, so I'm going through that process. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Man-Child today. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Now, just really quick though, for those, because it's been a while since you've been on. So really quick, I mean, tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into making comics. I think, is this your third, fourth book you're on? Fifth?
It's gonna be my fourth book. Yeah, my
Nice.
fourth one. So yeah, I started making comics right out of high school. I was going to college for about a year for creative writing, and I came up with the idea for Seasons while I was going to school, and I thought, man, I want to do this. I know this is what I want to do. I want to write comics and I want to make comics. And instead of waiting, I decided to postpone college, and I wanted to go into indie comics and make my own books. And so Seasons Volume 1, which is right over here, it came out when I had turned 20 years old. And then I did Lifeline a year or two after, and then Seasons Volume 2 just came out. So I've been writing comics for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's been awesome. It's been such an experience, and definitely something that I've been able to learn so much and be able to meet so many amazing people. And Caleb's one of them. Meeting him and a lot of different great other writers and people, and so it's been something else. But yeah, I'm on my fourth book now, and things are looking good.
Oh, very cool. Now, so you held college off to start writing comics. Did you make it to college? Are you still holding off?
I'm still holding off. Yeah. I don't know how long.
Some would argue that's a good idea. At
least you're not in like student loan debt.
I was going to say I fought years of debt, and then I decided that I was going to make comic books. So maybe you did it the better way.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a writer, and not necessarily just write comics, but I knew I wanted to be a writer. And some of my favorite writers, they never went to college, and there's a lot of people that never did, and they did really great work. And not to say I will never go back, but I've been really enjoying doing this. And I at the time, I really didn't want to hold off, and I didn't want to be in debt. I was like, if I'm going to be in debt after college, I'm not going to be able to make comics. So what's the point? All the money that I've put into my books, I've gotten some return on, and it's been awesome. And I know it's a process. And I think a lot of people that are thinking about making comics or on their first book or something, they don't realize that it takes a couple books for people to start noticing you, and it takes an investment of time and years of work to be able to get recognized and get seen. And it's a process. It really is. It takes a lot. I going into it with my first book, I thought, I'll make this, and things are going to get easier, but they don't. You have to keep going. And so some people in my inner circle or my family are like, so hey, like, are you gonna go back? And yeah, they're like, when are you gonna go back? And
that was gonna be my next question. It's like, so knowing the pressures that most parents put on their children, especially with college and this and that, I mean, how did they take the news? I am gonna hold off on college. I'm gonna make comic books.
Yeah, it's they were supportive enough to where they let me do it, or they were okay with it. And thankfully they've been seeing my progress, and like when I published seasons, when I got the first volume done, I remember handing it to my dad, and he was like, "Wow, like, yeah, you're actually doing it. Like, this is something. There's something to be said for this." And um, I've gotten the most strange looks from other people who expect me to be in school. Maybe strangers or people I meet, and they're like, "Hey, so what are you doing, or what's your degree in?" And I'm like, "My degree is in writing comics, man. Like, that's what I'm doing."
Nice. Now, do you have to work a day job at the same time, or are you doing this full time?
No, I do. I do work a day job, and so yeah, all the money I make from there, I put into making my books, and then going to crowdfunding to publish them, and hopefully, keep doing that. But yeah, thankfully, I have a pretty good enough job to where when if it's slow, I can do some writing. Not all the time, but it actually works out pretty well that way.
Nice. So, how do you find the work-life balance?
Oh, it's difficult. And the older I get, the more I realize just how difficult it is. And I think of Caleb, who has a kid and who's married, and a lot of people that are in their 30s and 40s, and have all these lives behind them, and I don't know how they do it, because I feel like I'm struggling just being, someone who is just starting.
It's like I'm struggling just being young, not old like you guys.
I know.
Just struggling.
I feel
out to the
old
bar with
because
my friends and all this other stuff.
I know, like a lot of my friends in my age, I relate to them for sure, but at the same time I don't, because I have a different way of looking at what I want to do, and I don't socialize as much as other people my age and stuff.
That's
but
just being a writer, dude.
yeah, totally. That's what it is, and I'm okay with that. I've always been, growing up, my closest person to me was my brother. I mean, it was just him and I, and most of the time, and we would watch movies together, write stories together, work on stuff together all the time. We're musicians too, so we make music together. And I would just, I love being alone in my room and working on stuff. Like, that's just that's where I thrive. It's like my element.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Alone in my studio.
What's it like to be alone in a room? I don't know. For the 4-year-old, it's just like, can I have like a minute to just write this thing, please?
Yeah, I know. I think kids are beautiful, but I'm glad I don't have any right now. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So we got Andrew Wilson asks, I must ask, origin of the name Nandor. I've never heard of that name.
It is Hungarian. My mom, she is from Hungary, actually, and she named both myself and my brother Hungarian names. So I'm Nandor, and then my brother is Miklos.
Oh, nice. So Nandor, not Nandor. It's Nandor.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And then JC just has to chime in. What is this work-life balance you speak of, Nile? It's that thing where we don't sleep, JC. There's really truly no balance. But so you've been doing comics for a long time. Something you've been enjoying as a kid growing up, or was it a later in life thing?
No, it's been a part of my life since I was real young. I have always really enjoyed comics, and I think the early 2000s, like first X-Men movie and like the first Spider-Man, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movie, really like introduced me to the characters, like the before the MCU, all that. But then growing up into all of that, just catapulted me into loving the medium and becoming more of a fan of certain characters, and really, when I started getting comics on a monthly basis when I turned about probably 11 or 12 years old, that just made me discover writers and the amazing writers that are making comics, and people's voices that I probably would never have heard in any other medium, and that just inspired me to want to do that.
Yeah. And so Manchild's pretty interesting, because this is kind of a tribute to a name that I think we all hold in great regard and have been inspired by. And this is basically, well, like this is kind of like a tribute to Stan Lee, right? And his work.
It is. Yeah, it's that's really where the idea came from, was my desire to do something for Stan Lee, to give back to what he gave to me. And I came up with the idea um shortly after he passed away, and I was actually pretty devastated by his passing, more than I thought I would be. It's just one of those things where, growing up again, he's always been there. Stan Lee, it's like he'd do all the cameos, and you'd see him all the time. And then when he passed, I was like, oh man, like it just really struck me. It was like, he's gone. Like he won't he won't make any new stories. We won't ever see him again in anything. And I wanted to give back, because he had given me so much to love from all these characters. And I started to read biographies about him, and started to read about the history of the Marvel Marvel comics in general, and read probably about 4 or 5 books, some biographies of him, but also just on Marvel comics in general. And that really, the more I read and the more I learned about him, the more I found him more fascinating, and thought, man, I want to take his life and put it in a comic book, sort of, not specifically, but take elements of his life and elements of the things that he went through, and put it in a comic. And that's really where the idea of the title Man-Child came from, because at the time when Stan Lee was making comics, and other people in the industry making comics, they were not seen as they are today at all. And comics still have a hard time being seen as literature, but definitely back then, the amount of things that they had to go through with the Comics Code Authority, and just different things from parents, and the violence in comics and all that stuff, it just made me respect Stan Lee and the things that he and his other creatives went through and did to keep comics going. And it's weird to think of a time, when I was reading about his life, reading of a time where Spider-Man wasn't popular. It's like, wow, there was a time when these characters weren't beloved, and they came from creators like Caleb and I, people that had an idea and want to do something with it, and want to write stories. And that's just just incredibly fascinating to me. So so yeah, that's where Man-Child came from.
Oh, fantastic. So let's check out your campaign video, and then we'll dive into the story and the characters in the book.
All right.
It's a funny thing. Very often I'll come to stations like this and do interviews, and I can't tell you how many times I've gone, let's say, to a television station, and the cameraman, somebody in his 30s maybe, or late 20s, will walk over to me. It makes me feel very old, but he'll say, "Hey, Stan, gee whiz, I've been reading your stuff since I was 14. Tell me, how's the Hulk doing today?"
November 12th, 2018. I was at my day job like any other ordinary weekday. All at once, my phone started buzzing, and I was getting calls and texts from friends. They all had the same thing to tell me. Stan Lee died. It was devastating. I wasn't prepared for Stan Lee, a man so instrumental in making my childhood, as well as millions of others, a childhood filled with imagination and possibilities, to be gone. A man whom, through his creations, gave me something irreplaceable, a place to escape and become inspired. I missed Stan Lee and needed to grieve, but being the writer I am, I also needed to give back. To do that, I needed to rediscover who he was, what he did, how he did it, and why. This is how Man-Child came to be. Hi, I'm Nandor Fox Shaffer. I'm a comic book writer. I published 3 graphic novels through Kickstarter, and I am so thrilled to finally bring my new project, Manchild, to the world. Manchild is going to be a 6-issue limited series. It is an homage to the Silver Age or Marvel Age of comics, and is a tribute to the work and life of Stan Lee, as well as a commentary on comic book fandom and the beauty and pitfalls of being a child at heart. The series will alternate between 2 storylines. The first featuring the adventures of the captivating Monarch Crier as he battles his arch foe, Professor Pilgrim, and the second featuring Rufus Boston and his friends, all super comic book nerds who are knee-deep in comic book culture. How the two relate are up to you, the reader, to discover. The first issue is 22 pages of action-packed, heartfelt storytelling written by myself, art by Jay Mazar, and letters by DC Hopkins. Manchild Issue 1 also boasts the extraordinary talents of top Marvel, DC, and Image comic book artists such as Welby, Tom Riley, Nick Pitara, and Eisner Award-winning artist Tony Harris. This is a story about staring directly into the past and holding on to what matters and realizing what's holding on to you. This is a story about not being taken seriously by others like Stan Lee was when he first started writing comics. This is also a story about celebrating the wonder of being a child and the wonder of being an adult. If any of that resonates with you, please back Manchild today. We have some amazing rewards, including being drawn to the story, getting original artwork, all those variant covers I mentioned earlier. I would truly love your support in making this really special project come to life. Thank you so much for watching.
Oh, that's a great video, man.
Thank you so much.
Nice. It's funny because like down in the bottom of the screen, I've got all the little windows of all the guests, and I have that enlarged, and it's the same as you are right now. And for me, I'm like, who the heck is he talking to?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wait, it's the video playing. But yeah, man. So
funny.
you have 27 days to go. You just launched this pretty recently. You are about a quarter of the way funded. So actually, everyone out there, I mean, if this is your thing, I mean, you love Stan Lee, you love his work, he's inspired you. Please, share this campaign. Let's continue to support our indie comic friends out there, this community, this golden age of comic making that we are in, because the indie scene is boosting and it keeps growing. So let's help share Manchild on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're a fellow streamer out there watching this live or is going to be watching this recorded, reach out to Nandor and get him on your show and help him promote this book, because this is pretty cool. So we've got 2 stories in this book, right?
Yeah. Two stories being told simultaneously.
Very cool. So the first story is
so the first story takes place in a superhero Silver Age universe that follows the Monarch Crier, who is the superhero and of New York City, and he is taking on Professor Pilgrim, who is the super genius sovereign of his own island in the North Pacific. So you'll be reading about the Monarch Crier and his battles with Professor Pilgrim, and seeing how the history of these characters and why they hate each other and why they're at odds with each other. And it's all told in a classic Silver Age style. So a ton of exclamation points, a ton of adjectives and expressions and very classic phrases and terminologies. And then as you're reading that, you'll flip the page and you'll be transported into the modern day with Rufus Boston, who is this comic book super nerd. He's in his 30s. He lives in his parents' basement. He's a virgin. He finds everything about
Why's he gotta be a virgin?
And well, he's a man child. and I wanted to tackle the idea of what masculinity means too, and that idea of to some guys it's like, yeah, it's all these things that you're supposed to do to be a real man or whatever. And then I wanted to put that into character and look at that and see how you can be a man, but in different ways, and not just in more I don't know how you would say it, but just regular everyday ways of what it means to be a good person and a good man. And Those are qualities that Rufus has, but he's behind in a lot of other things too. So you get to see him grow as a character. At the same time, you're reading about these heroes that we as comic book fans idolize, and so it's an interplay between those two, and also how the two stories connect is actually a big mystery for the series itself, and that's something that I want the reader to figure out. So it's up to the reader to figure out, wait, how does this Silver Age story relate to this modern day story? And they do connect, so it's just a matter of time before the reader figures it out.
Oh, very cool. That's neat. So you got intertwining stories there, and it's left up to the reader to kind of interpret how they even match up.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
There's little Easter eggs, throughout the series that I wanted the reader to kind of figure out and see, because I thought about doing it separately in the very, very early stages, but I thought it'd be so much more cool to put them together.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's Rufus Boston. That's the main standard cover for the book, and he's sitting on a rooftop eating a bowl of cereal, and I love it.
That's awesome, man. So how many issues is this series going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be 6 issues. I'm actually writing the final issue right now. So just so everyone knows, like, I have everything mapped out, everything is ready to go, and I know where the story's headed, and I'm writing the ending right now. So it's been something that I've been working on for about a year or two. And I wrote the first issue a while back, and I kind of let it sit for a bit, and then I couldn't let it go. I needed to go back to it, and I continued writing the series. And as I was writing it, I was realizing, it started out as a tribute to Stan Lee, and then as I've been keeping the story going, I've realized how much more it's become. It's grown into a beast that I hadn't recognized, and it's becoming something that's really special. I am really proud of what I've done, but I got to say, I think this is definitely the most comic book thing that I've written, but also the best thing that I've written in terms of how to use the medium in ways that I can, is only natural for comic books, and that's something that I love doing with my work.
Yeah, well, it looks great, man. It really does. You got that Kirby vibe to the drawing. It definitely has that Silver Age Marvel feel to the pages, the paneling, the outline. It really does. It looks like a great book, and it's really interesting. And this is definitely something I'll be backing myself. Just because it looks great, man. This looks fantastic, and I love where you're going with it. And in honoring a great creator like Stan Lee. Shoot, man. Andrew Wilson said, "I'll fund Man-Child." Okay, fund the whole thing, Andrew Wilson. Game on.
Well,
Let's go. Where's the
let's
ticker?
talk.
Let's see, 4,500 here. All right, but no, seriously, everyone, if you can, this is such an awesome project that Nandor is working on. Check it out. The link's in the description. The link has been posted many times in the chat. Please take a look at it. Like, share, do what you can. This is 4th campaign up right now, or 5th campaign, right? 4th or 5th? I'm confusing myself.
It's my 4th one. Yeah,
your 4th campaign. Here we go. So 4 campaigns up here, and Nandor's a supporter. Oh, look at 29 that he's backed. So he supports the indie comics as well. But yeah, man, again, it's such a great book. Interiors are awesome. Concept is great. I wish you luck with this. I hope this gets funded for you. I'm sure you will. Your goal is very reasonable. And your time frame left is very reasonable. So, if we have time, like towards your last week, hit me up. We'll try to get you back on for another boost of this campaign. Cool. But looks like you got another backer there. So yeah, everyone, please check it out. Share it. Man-Child #1 on Kickstarter. When this ends, do you roll over to Indiegogo for in-demand, or do any in-demand services through any third parties?
Actually, I did that with Seasons Volume 2, and it was awesome. So I think I might do that. There's going to be, of course, the Indiegogo campaign is going to be a lot more stripped down than this, and I don't know if I'll have the variant covers that I have for the Kickstarter campaign, just because those are really special, and I want the Kickstarter backers to get the best. But yeah, I would love to do that, and something I'm thinking about maybe before I launch issue 2, if this gets funded. I might bring the first issue to Indiegogo and then go into issue 2 on Kickstarter.
Oh, very cool, man. That's awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your new book and your campaign, and we'll continue to, share it just as we will any of the other campaigns tonight. I know, real quick, I think we've got 13 minutes left on Supercats. So if anyone wants to get in and back that right away, please head over to Kickstarter. Supercats Mewow. 13 minutes to go, Caleb.
I just threw in for you, Nandor. So.
Oh,
there you
so
nice,
much, man.
Nice. All right, Nandor, Mel, thanks so much for coming on. And like I said, hit me up towards the end of the campaign, and we'll pop you back on.
All right, man. Yeah,
All
you
right,
guys
man.
have a good night, and thank you so much.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Take it easy.
Cool. That's a cool concept. That is neat. I like homages, Caleb.
I got, he actually launched his first book that was shortly after my first thing I did on Kickstarter, and I actually have it sitting on my shelf too. He's a really good writer. Like, that was his first attempt at a book, and it's very well written, and I'm excited to see what he does with something like this. So
nice. Yeah, I'm excited too.
It's $10 to throw in for the first issue. Like, just go get it. That's including shipping. So, I mean, I think it's pretty worth it.
Definitely. So a link is there in the description of the show and in the chat. So we've got another great guest tonight. First time crowdfunder. He's got his first book going right now on Indiegogo. Everyone, please welcome Nicholas Geer to the show. Nick, what's going on?
Not much.
So,
Welcome. First time on the show. First
Yes,
comic book up on Indiegogo. What's your first name? But Nick, we don't know you, man. You got to tell us about yourself. How'd you get into comics? How'd you get into making comics?
I actually got into making comics. I've always had the idea to make a comic, but I actually started realizing that it could be possible when I found y'all's show and started seeing Indiegogo and crowdfunding. And it's like,
Nice.
might as well try it, give it a shot.
There you go. I like that. I like it because we were watching your show. I like that, Nick. That's just earned points. You got some big points right here. So when did you first, were comics? So one thing I've learned with creators, it's kind of like you either grew up with comics or something that hit you later in life that you just fell in love with. What was your journey with comics?
I started getting the superheroes with the 90s, like X-Men cartoon. And I remember we had like the X-Men board game where it had the little figurines and all the X-Men cards and stuff. Yeah. And
a lot of figurines.
Went from there to the comics and just took off from there.
Nice. Now, do you still read mainstream comics, or are you more focused on indie created stuff?
Indie stuff.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Very cool. So you've got your first comic up on Indiegogo, and what was pretty cool is when I was doing I think it was my first or second episode of Exploration Indiegogo, where I just sat down and just skimmed through things. Yours came up, and I thought it was really cool. And it was in there as an upcoming campaign. I think you had the preview up. But let's bring this up here. So you have the Relentless Tin Soldier. Can rookie cop Benjamin Pearson single-handedly take on the corruption of the Coletta family? Now, I love the design of this character, to be honest with you. I think it's really cool. Oh, I don't want to scroll down that just yet. But super fast. You didn't see nothing. All right. So it's great design. I'll be honest with you. The first thing I thought, I was like, my favorite X-Men character is Colossus.
So he's got a pretty similar power set. But of course, his origin story, the way he becomes a hero, everything's completely different.
So tell us a bit about this. I mean, this is your first book. This is your story. How many issues are you planning?
I just want to keep going with it. I've wrote the second issue already. We're already starting working on the art and all that stuff. I just want to keep going with it as long as it'll go.
Oh, fantastic. And are you with Starpoint? No, you're with a publisher now?
Starcross. Yeah,
Starcross. Nice. So we got some great interiors here. I'm just going to say, I know Billy's out to dinner for Deb's birthday. I don't know how many bottles of wine they're in, but
Right.
for him popping on, I don't know. Should we make a bet if it happens or not? Because I think he's probably half in the bag.
Right.
That's just my theory. JC Vaughn, I know you're still watching. I'd like to know your verdict on this. I'd like to know. I'm going to keep monitoring the chat. So anyways, where are you at with the production of this book? Is it done?
It's done. The only thing left to do is to have the main cover colored. Everything else is complete.
Oh,
It's-
awesome.
All the art's done, colors are done, lettering's done.
Yeah, and you've got some great names on here. I mean, I see this headshot from Graham Nolan, which says
And
this
with
is going to
that-
be back cover.
Yeah, that's going to be the back cover, but it's going to be exclusive to the Indiegogo campaign. So
Nice.
once it goes to like retail, we're just going to have like a Starcross Comics ad. So this is
Okay.
something special for the people that back the campaign.
Nice. Now, will this be colored?
No, I'm just going to leave it a sketch. I think it looks awesome.
I think that looks great. I love Graham Nolan's work. He does some great stuff. We know you got a cover from Billy Tucci on here. Your back cover is Graham Nolan. You got an homage cover by Shelby Robinson.
That cover, that Action 1 covers.
That Action 1 cover is sick.
Yeah.
And you got a bunch of other stuff here. Are these prints, right? That we're
Yeah,
scrolling
that's going
into
to be
right
an
now?
art print.
Nice. And this one, original art print by JC Fabule. Very nice. Oh, this one's cool.
The reason I got
Andy
that on, that's
Smith art
actually
print?
that's Aaron Lepresti's Garbage Man, and I'm
Yeah.
selling the original art. That's just a commission I had done because I wanted it. But
Yeah.
the reason that's on there is the original art's for sale.
Now, Tin Soldier versus Aaron Lepresti's Garbage Man. So this one was done by JC?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I got confused for a second. And then you got Andy Smith, great guy, art print.
Yeah, that was
Does-
available for anybody who signed up for the pre-launch. So anybody that signed up for that and back to physical campaigns getting that.
I lost the bet. Oh, wait. But the glass is in hand. The glass is in hand. How was dinner?
It was
Were you
okay.
wa- It was okay.
It was a really fancy restaurant, and my kids are fucking animals.
They didn't eat the
And,
pot
and
stickers.
there was and William was tired from working and in a mood and being a little bitch, and so.
Oh, jeez.
But we sat next to my congressman, so
Oh, nice.
Andrew Garbarino, who's a great guy, by the way. And I see
Great guy.
boys, good to see you guys.
What's up?
Good to see you. Good to see you. So how many bottles of wine are we in? Two?
Just one. No, just one. Then we had an
Oh.
open bottle from last night. So
Oh.
I just poured it because I'm having wine. So I'm like, we gotta go.
You made it. You made it. Not too bad. I put the bet out there. Will he arrive? Will he arrive?
Yeah,
And we got
no.
Kylie
course
joining
I'm gonna
us. Kylie's here. How we doing, Kylie?
Good.
Do you like your dad's comic book?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't it cool?
look, where's Kylie?
Yeah.
She's hiding. There you go. Nice. So we're just going through some of the prints right now. We went through, we saw the patriotic print, JC's print of Tin Man, the Tin Soldier versus Aaron Lepresti's Garbage Man.
Yeah,
Giving some Garbage Man love there. I like that.
yeah,
I
Garbage Man's
definitely
gotta
like
come
that.
back.
It is. Fish Chose is in the house. Hi, Nick.
Hey.
Oh, Ryan Cardinal. Nice. Ryan, welcome. It's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. Awesome. Word
Yeah.
up, chat.
And thank you,
panel.
Nick. Thank you, Nick, for having me be a part of this. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I mean, I appreciate it so much to have Billy Tucci do a cover for my book. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not, the reason why I did that one because I wanted to be like, the triumphant, because he got the ones with the flag and he's standing there and looking. And I thought, how about something little? Well, I originally drew with grenades in his hand, and you weren't too crazy about that. But I just feel like he just pummeled a whole bunch of naughty mobsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a Mike S. Miller trading card.
Yeah, this is first stretch goal.
Nice. And I really love this one. The Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle variant here.
Yeah, so that's a stretch goal too. I had that done just because I'm a fan of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Who drew this?
I'd have to look up his name. I forget it.
Nice. That came
I'll
out
have to
awesome.
look that up. It did.
Nick, where are you from?
Texas.
Heck yes,
Nice.
Texas. Hook 'em.
There you go. There you go. And being a published Starcross Comics, Tribulation is a task force, right? Yeah. So we actually had a few of these books on the channel. That's pretty cool.
Man, I think was on your show.
Yeah. We've had a couple of these creators on here. Very cool. So you got that going, and then you had the Tucci cover, which is ready for color, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
colored as soon as I can.
And there we have it.
There you go. So I figured he just beat up all those dudes. But I figured we do a nice color hold on the sun, like it's a burning, blazing sun. And and there's all those mobsters knocked the F out that he just.
I love that one mobster's face, the one that's upside down.
Right?
Yeah, they're all like brutish guys, and as you said, he's like a Boy Scout, so he's like Superman. So he can't kill anybody, but he just beat the crap out of him. I hope you like it.
Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to see it colored.
Yep. So I'm going to send you that and the rough tomorrow.
Okay, awesome.
Nice. So tell us a bit about the story. What is the Relentless Tin Soldier about?
So basically, it's a rookie cop who sets out to take on the Coletta family, who's set up a foothold in Minneapolis, funding all the high-ranking officials, and through that, the Coletta family, of course, doesn't take it lying down. So they're inadvertently responsible for creating the Tin Soldier, the one hero who can probably bring their organization to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that scene in the images of the actual Tin Soldiers walking into a building? They were like walking bombs or something.
Yeah, they're walking bombs. They're creations of the character that's gonna have pretty much their creations of the character that's gonna give the Tin Soldier his powers.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. And is this issue going to be like an origin story?
It is.
It is. Okay, fantastic. That's awesome. So I got to ask, so you want to just kind of roll with this series, right? You want to roll with it, do as many as you can.
Right.
Have you given yourself like a schedule? Are you trying to do like one a quarter, 2 a year? Like, what are you looking at production-wise of this series?
It took me about a year to get all this together. Like I said, it's completely done.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to do 2 a year.
Yeah.
I think, I've kind of went through all the learning curves and everything, and I'd like to be able to do 2 issues a year.
Yeah. And I mean, your levels here are really great, to be honest with you. You'd be drawn in the issue. We're going to be issue 2 is only $150. Your digital copies are $5. Your main cover copies are $12. Indiegogo exclusive homage is $15.
So inexpensive. Oh, God.
What's that?
His prices are so inexpensive.
Yeah, it's 24 pages of story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be like floppy,
yeah.
So
that's great for an introduction. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you want to, it's about getting your story, your idea out there, right? And it's that stepping stone. It's like a staircase. Like each campaign is a step, and you want to. Yeah, exactly.
After so many issues, I'd like to do like trades, collect 1 through 6 or whatever.
Very cool, man. I really dig the design of the character. I dig the concept of it. I'm really intrigued. Yeah, I love it. It really is neat. I like it. The Relentless Tin Soldier. I love the title of it. I think you definitely got something really cool here, man. I really do. And I hope everyone that's watching this live and recorded, there's currently, as of this live airing, there's 22 days left on this campaign. He's 91% funded. He's almost there for his goal of 1,500, which I know you're gonna make it. That's
exactly. He's gonna end then some. So I'll share it if I send my update tomorrow or Thursday. My next update, I'll send it. I'll include the link to it too.
I appreciate it
in our update. So
yeah, and we'll continue sharing it, periodically on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that stuff when we go and do our social media hour of trying to get as much out as we can. Right. But yeah, man, it looks great. I think it's really cool. I like what you're doing. Are you just going to stick with this, or are you going to try to do other series and stuff in between?
I've got a couple other ideas, but I really want to get several issues of this out before I move into, a second book or anything.
Yeah, no, very cool, man. Well, I have to say, I really am impressed by it. You've definitely done the work to get some good names on the campaign. You know, the artwork looks really great. I mean, I can't attest to the script because we can't read the book yet, but I'm hoping that the script's going to be as good as all the panels, interiors, covers, and everything you put together. I have to imagine it will. And like I said, I think it's good. Continue networking, promoting, getting on streams as many as you can. Are you you're doing Indiegogo? Are you part of the Comicsgate community? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm definitely with Indiegogo and just funded towards the Comicsgate community.
Yep. All right. Yeah, man. So you just got to keep reaching out to those streamers and stuff, and keep building your presence within that community, and grow what you're doing. Try to get on Mandy's show. Reach out to Dan Fraga. All these guys. See if anyone will get you on. Just even get 15, 20 minutes of their time. We'll put in a good word for you, and try to promote the heck out of this thing. It looks great, man. Looks good. JC Vaughn. For those I've referenced JC. JC is in the industry. So
in the industry, he is the vice president of Gemstone Publishing.
Oh, jeez.
He helps run the industry. My goodness,
he runs the industry. I know.
He's an influencer,
a big time influencer. And if he likes it, then it's real. It's the real deal.
He's like a cop. He could, with a piece of paper, he could ruin your life.
He's like a relentless tin soldier. That's what he's like.
He's like a relentless tin soldier. He Caleb Thusat. Yeah. I don't know about that book, Hook. Yeah. It's not worth anything on the resale market. Just destroy careers. No.
The Overstreet comic guy. There you go.
Yes.
But hey, man, yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing this with us.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
I mean, I would say, for anyone out there that's curious, I mean, what's your selling pitch? Why should people back this book?
It's great, and it's just going to get better.
All right.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Short and sweet. Love it. All right, man. Well, Nick, Kylie, thanks for popping on. It's great to see you. I know. I love it. Come on again, when you get your next campaign going, or if you're ending towards here, you want to pop on, or if when you go in demand. I imagine you're going to take the campaign in demand once you've met goal. Yeah. So
22 days left. Let's smash that goal. Come on, let's double this number.
Exactly. Let's crush it, guys. So, Nick, thanks so much for coming on. Kylie, it was nice seeing you. I hope you guys enjoy your trip, and we'll see you again.
Appreciate it.
All right, have a great night.
Thank you so much. It was an honor. Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Covers look great. Everything looks great. Thanks, Nick. All right, man. Look at that, Billy.
Heck yes, I just got in. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Caleb's a little pissed about it, but he thought you'd be there the whole time. Look at that.
Caleb looks pissed. Caleb likes he's to be in a Western right now with that beard going on there. Give me one of those cigarellos in his mouth, The
little cigarellos. He's taking a drink of the cup. This is not good.
I should have some whiskey right here.
There's the whiskey. Do you have a little prop, 6-shooter or something like that? You can just hold in your hand. You can just sit there and just scowl at people's.
There you go.
I have no reason to scowl because I just funded my kid's book. So
heck yes.
There you go. Congratulations, funded. Move on to the next, Caleb. Keep it going.
So Nile, I'm here. I popped in. I rushed home. I rushed my wife home and my boys home from the restaurant.
Yes.
And but this can't be the end of the show, right?
It's not the end of the show because we got a headliner tonight. A true legend in comics.
Hero. Yes.
And becoming quite a legend in crowdfunding. Every campaign I see is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So without further ado, everyone, please welcome our good friend, comic book legend, amazing artist, Mr. Ron Randall. Ron, welcome back.
Thanks so much. It's disturbing to be called some of those terrible names you called me. So
anything we can do to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
that's how we like to start off.
Outlaw rock star intro.
Yeah.
You guys know me too
Bad
well.
Boys of Comics.
The outlaw Ron Randall.
He doesn't give an F about your book. He only cares about his.
That's right.
There you go. How have you been, Ron? It's been a while since we've had you on.
Yeah. I've missed you guys so much. But I've been well. I've been doing really well. The campaigns, have been doing great, and that's earlier in the show. You guys were talking about the work-life balance, and I think somebody made the comment, "What is this work-life balance you talk about?" And I mean, it's really true for all of us that in this business, you do what you do, and that's kind of who you are to an extent. It's not necessarily healthiest or most praiseworthy, but it's just kind of hard to avoid it. The people that I know that can find some kind of a work-life balance are awesome. This is all answering your question of how I'm doing. I'm doing fine because my comic is doing fine, and that doesn't necessarily. Isn't it
Also,
the
they
best
want
endorsement for
to be miserable and wanting to murder someone.
Yeah, right.
You do have that reputation.
Yeah.
Sorry?
So I mean, but yeah, your campaigns have really been like, it's like we were talking that whole step process. I mean, it seems like every campaign you're doing is doing better and better.
Yeah, they've the reason I turned to in my case Kickstarter in the first place was I had been, Trek had been coming out basically through Dark Horse mostly off and on, but it was very much they would accommodate a little bit of Trekker once in a while in their overall publishing schedule and stuff, and that they got a publishing company to run. I'm not throwing any shade on Dark Horse there, but it just came to the point where I realized it wasn't serving my series or my readers well at all to have something would come out sporadically when it's intended to be. Each story is supposed to be connected with and build on the previous one. So fluidity and regularity of getting those stories to come out was, I think, really important for the series to have the momentum and thus build the readership. So I turned to Kickstarter with that that was my working theory.
Yeah. No.
And,
now for those that aren't too familiar, or maybe Trekker's something like a first thing they're hearing of, but how long has Trekker been on the scene?
It's been around for 34 years, and I can explain. But so next year will be the 35th anniversary of the first published Trekker story, which is daunting in a way. I mean, it's not like I've been working on it steadily for 35 years. Like I said, it was sort of on again, off again. There was one period where I didn't touch Trekker for 12 straight years, and that was because it was doing this sporadic publishing, so issues would come and disappear, and even dedicated fans of Trekker wouldn't know that an issue had come out, and that was driving everybody nuts. So that's why I put it on that long hiatus. So that's what the 35 years thing is about.
Nice. So the new campaign is up on Kickstarter. It's Trekker:
Right.
Reckoning on Rigel. Very cool. So you are at 23 hours to go. You're at $66,000 and
Nice,
you
bro.
have
Nice.
897 backers.
Yep.
Holy smokes. You've got a lot of fulfilling to do.
What's so funny? What I know, Ron, a testament to you and your fan and your body of work and your personality and your following is that's huge for Kickstarter, because it seems like Kickstarter numbers seem to be either you get like Berserker numbers, right? You get the creme, you get Keanu Reeves numbers or Jeff Smith numbers or Brian Pulido numbers, or the other numbers are like 15, 10,000, it seems.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's almost like a cult of personality in a way, right? Like I don't know. It just seems like it's hit or miss in a way. That's why I do both. I'm just curious. Well, I'm curious because I'm doing both. And and that's tremendous, though. Tremendous.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's been kind of a slow build in a way. I mean, when I did the first campaign, I had no idea what the following was going to be on Kickstarter. I mean, I knew that there were people that like Trekker, but I didn't. I was new to the whole crowdfunding world. I mean, I knew some friends who'd done Kickstarters and stuff, but for various reasons, I didn't think that my profile was going to be what theirs was anyway. So I launched the first campaign, and I thought this, I might get 20 people, which would have been a disaster and just really humiliating, frankly, professionally. But it funded very quickly, and it's like you said, it's sort of been building since the first campaign, and that's that consistent, I think, regular presence. I had a couple of good things going for me when I launched my first Kickstarter. That story was already done and in my pocket. It was ready to go. The story after that was almost already completely finished because I've been posting these stories 1 page a week on a website, trekkercomic.com. And the backlog of those pages was building up so much because it was taking too long for the books to come out through Dark Horse on anything like the schedule I wanted them to. So one of the advantages I had on Kickstarter that a lot of guys don't have is that when my campaign is done, the book is done, other than some ancillary extra materials and stuff like that. So very quickly I can get those files off to the printer, it printed and gets to the backers, as opposed to you get all the money from the campaign and then life happens. And the book that you had intended to devote 3 straight months to getting done or whatever, it takes a year and a half.
Right.
So all of my campaigns fulfill in a very timely fashion, and I just move on to the next one. And I think that that means a lot to readers. When you're trying to do something like Trekker, which is an ongoing series of interconnected stories. It's not like I can do an issue and it's a big event, and then 4 years can go by, and then another big event comes out. The story isn't structured that way. So it's been helpful to have those. Now, by now, my backlog of stories that are already in my pocket, that's gone. So now I'm really working up against, because I'm a one-man show. I write the stories, I draw the stories, I build the Kickstarter campaigns, I run the campaigns. I don't fulfill them myself. You were saying, Nile, that I have a lot of fulfillment to do.
Who does your fulfillment? Who do you hire?
Yeah, I'm using Black Box. They're a solid company. They're now owned by a company called Ad Magic. But Black Box was the guys that created the Cards Against Humanity, that game. And I believe that after they created that game, and I don't know if this is true, I think I heard it someplace though, that they realized what a logistical challenge it is to fulfill a campaign for anything that's been crowdfunded. And that's why they created this Black Box organization to help a lot of people. They perceived a need, and it was a real need. I'll tell you. You run a campaign, you get several hundreds or more backers, and you got 4 or 5 different stretch goal rewards, and you're trying to figure out who gets which ones and stuff. Like, oh my God! So, and the thing is, all I want to do is write and draw my damn comic book. I don't want to sell comic books. I don't want to mass produce a lot of memorabilia and merchandising items. I want to write Trekker stories and draw Trekker stories. I have to take on these other
jobs right there.
Yes,
yeah, I know.
Thank you, Billy.
Right
this
there.
is what I want sympathy for, because it's true. I suffer for my art. But if you're going to go this route, the crowdfunding route, the self-publishing route, you've got to wear like 7 or 8 different hats, and that's I don't know how many full-time jobs it is. I've lost count. So so I knew from early on in my first campaign, having talked to people who are much smarter than me and had experience with this, that if I could find and hook up with a good, reputable and well-run fulfillment service, it would probably save my life, and it kind of has from day one. So so I got that going for me.
I have two questions. One, how long do you think the fulfillment will be by the time they get all the books and all the stretch goals? How long of a time frame will it be between that fulfillment from them getting product to them actually shipping them? And 2, for those out there who want to do this too, because there's a lot of us, even me. I mean, we had the conversation tonight at dinner, and we're kind of like become like a well-oiled machine, but it'd be so much easier on my wife if we hired a fulfillment company to do that. And what do these fulfillment companies normally take? How much of a percentage, or how much you have to pay them? Because we have a lot of people that watch the show that also want to do their own campaigns. So
let me see. So the first question was from the way my campaigns have gone, when the campaign comes to an end, I have to do the work of drawing the backup story where people can appear and drawn into the book. And all the extra features and that sort of stuff, get the files prepped and off to the printer, blah blah blah. But from the time my campaign ends till the time that the books are being shipped to the backers is usually about within 4 or 5 months. And then once once everything gets delivered to the black box shipment warehouse, it doesn't take them long. Usually within a few weeks, they've got everything processed. They've got all the different SKUs, all lined up, and they've got all their spreadsheets all figured out, and then boom. So once they start shipping it, usually within a couple of days, the packages are on the way to backers all over the world. What does it cost? They have their shipping cost. They add money for the handling of somebody in their warehouse has to take, the bag of prints and the magnets. They have to put all those different items together and get them out to people. So, frankly, off the top of my head, I don't keep numbers in my head. So, but the idea is when you're getting ready to run a campaign, I talk with them. I let them know basically the scope and scale of the campaign. It can change, because when you run a campaign, if you hit certain stretch goals, you might wind up adding a few extra items. But I can give them a ballpark idea about what it's going to be. They then send me a quote. Okay, it will cost us this much to ship, this size and weight packages to these sort of backers. So you break it down that way. So it takes some number crunching. Another hat I hate wearing.
Right.
But once you've got those numbers, you just work with those numbers, and I build that into my campaign. So I build that into the cost.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the name of that company again, in case other people may be curious?
It's called Black Box. But I should hasten to say that Black Box is they tend to work with pretty, I guess, sort of large customers, and usually a lot of people that do games, I guess, goes through Black Box and stuff. So when I was first starting my first campaign and I reached out to them, they were saying, well, usually we work with people that are expecting to have a higher volume of packages going out for us. But as it got closer and I talked a little bit more and I explained that I was going to be doing a series of these and was looking for like a long-term relationship sort of. And I guess they had enough of an opening in their line of customers that they were able to let me sneak in that way. So I've been able to keep it going with them. All of which is to say,
campaign 60. I mean, you're going to hit $70,000. You're going to hit 1,000 backers.
That would be awesome.
That's a big campaign.
It is, yeah. But my first campaigns were like half this in scale. So anyway, I'm just saying that so that if people are interested in finding a crowdfunding, a fulfillment service, shop around. When I first got started, I was told by people, a lot of people offer fulfillment services. Fulfillment is very complicated. A lot of things can go wrong. And most of these people offering these services do a terrible job, or at least not a really good job. And I figured they're the interface between me and my customers, my readers, right? So if I do a bang up job on the book and I run a sweet little campaign, I make all these wonderful tchotchkes, and then the backers either never get the packages or they arrive damaged and all that sort of stuff, that leaves a really bad taste in backers' mouths. So I really wanted to try to work with somebody that would be rock solid to deal with. And I heard from different people that Black Box was, I heard from people who I respect, their opinions I respect, that they'd had good experiences with Black Box. So I feel super fortunate that I got into them. They're not the only company that does a good job, I'm sure. They're just the one that I found early on, and reason to second guess that.
But it's interesting to have Nile. It's interesting to have a company like that. Maybe come on to a future show. I mean, Caleb, you do your own fulfillment, right? And
I mean, I've never really had more than 350 backers, but still, I mean, even that is a lot.
That's still a lot.
If you're giving for saying Hook instead of Nook, I don't know why I said that. I refer to your book as Hook. Caleb Thusat's new book, Hook. But maybe we can have Ron on. Some of the people that work with them, Nile.
Yeah. I've reached out to like BackerKit and other companies that are willing to come on and plug their fulfillment services.
Yeah.
But then I was like, screw you, we'll do it ourselves. But so let's check out your campaign though, Ron.
Sure. Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd love to play your campaign with you.
Okay, sure.
Hi, I'm Ron Randall. Thanks for checking out this campaign for Trekker, Reckoning on Rigel. I've done a lot of comics in my day. DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, Image. Yeah. Cool. But I hit the jackpot years ago when I had the chance to create my own science fiction series about a 23rd century bounty hunter or trekker. This is Mercy St. Clair. This is Molly Sundowner. And this is their most intense and suspenseful adventure yet, Reckoning on Rigel. Now, this is my 6th trekker campaign, and if it's your first trip with Mercy, I want to make a couple of quick points. First, every trekker book is designed to work as a completely self-contained volume. Each book introduces the characters, establishes the world, and tells a complete standalone story from start to finish. When you put all the books together, they just paint a richer, more complete portrait of Mercy's world. Second, you can get any or all of Mercy's earlier books through this campaign, either individually as a la carte add-on items or in the complete catch-up bundle at a special reduced price. Lastly, as with every earlier Kickstarter, the work on this story is completely done. A successful campaign plus the prep on a few special pages will hopefully be adding because of this campaign, and I'll get this book off to the printer and then into your hands quickly. Because here's the thing, I have a lot of trekker stories yet to tell, a lot of ground to cover, so we don't have any time to waste. So please check out all the reward levels from quick in-book sketches of Mercy to ink wash or watercolor commissions to all those catch-up books to, believe it or not, a chance to appear in the Trekker audio drama being produced by the Akadekagonagon Theater Works Group. So take that all in and then get ready for a reckoning. I'll see you on Rigel.
Great campaign video.
Heck yes, Ron Randall. Heck yes, sir.
I'll see you on Rigel.
It wasn't supposed to sound like a threat. Thanks. You talk about all the different hats that you have to wear if you want to do one of these things. That's one of them. You got to become like a producer for commercials or something like that.
A producer for commercials married with a carnival barker.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, you gotta
So this is great. Your interiors are gorgeous in this too, and it's cool to see kind of like, from your first trekker, floppy, from the years ago to where you are now. It's kind of still hold true to what trekker is all about, and now you've got all these new stories that are coming out with new characters, but still keeping it fresh and moving. I mean, it really is cool. Like, this is what crowdfunders look up to who are new to this, new creators. Just seeing that love for your character, the passion for your character that you've been working on for 35 years, right, on and off, and you're still doing it, right, and it's familiar. So someone that may have been a fan of trekker in the early 90s or so could actually see this campaign and recognize this character because it looks familiar, but it's fresh. It doesn't look dated. Like it's good. Like it's really good, Ron.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot because that's exactly what I'm after. I mean, when I first got back to doing the trekker stories after that long hiatus, I was on, somebody was interviewing me and they said, "So are you gonna be rebooting the character and everything?" And I said, "No, I'm gonna tell the next story," because I mean, if you're working for one of these franchise characters that's been around for 45 years and you get a chance to to do your angle on that character, there's a lot of that. People like to hit the restart button or the refresh button or something like that on it. But I've got a character that is, I want this series and this character to have this internal consistency and integrity where it doesn't. I don't want there to be. There are no radical changes. I mean, there are big moments, and she does evolve as a human being like we all do. But I want that to be sort of gradual and incremental. So that there isn't any sense of disjointedness about it. It's not like there's going to be an issue where it's like suddenly everything changes and she has a different modus operandi. The tone and the approach of the series isn't going to undergo any radical shifts. That's important to me. One of the people who I admired so much was what Hal Foster did with Prince Valiant. He created this body of work that was basically his career. And it was a world that had so much internal depth and consistency that you could sink into that and you would be rewarded because, like you said, Nile, the stories changed, the characters evolved, and I take mercy into these different settings from one book to the next. The book before this was called Hunter's Moon, and it was basically I wanted it to end up being like this very primal, almost like I went to Joe Kubert's school, and Joe did this great run, the Tarzan books that he did, and you'd have Tarzan with his stone knife, fighting against tigers, and I wanted something like that primal, human versus the creature out in the jungle setting, and that's what Hunter's Moon was. It was the most dangerous game kind of story. And Reckoning on Rigel's, it's more like this. I'm trying to go from more of a suspense, intrigue, tension sort of story. It's a completely different tone to the story. But the overall series is about Mercy St. Clair, her evolution, the way the world gradually expands and deepens and gets more complex and all that. And I think that's why I'm trying to get what Nile was describing about trying to have that combination of continuity. It should always look familiar to somebody. It should always feel like a Trekker story. But each story, the setting is different. The subgenre of science fiction that we're working in this issue is different than it was last time. And to me, if I do it right, it breathes a little bit of fresh air into each story without ever feeling like that abrupt, wrenching change of style or tone. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah. Ah, fantastic, man. It really looks great. I hope you in the 20, really, if people, go out there, share this on your Facebook, your Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're using. If you got any live streams going on the next 23 hours, maybe if Ron's available, you can have him on. But I mean, I'd love to see you hit 70K on this.
Yeah, Niall, can I ask you a question real quick? Ron, I know Indiegogo, you can extend your campaign. Does Kickstarter allow that? Like, if you want to extend this for another 30 days or so?
No, it's at least not. I mean, when you build a campaign, it's you have to set a hard deadline on it.
Okay.
I've never. So once the campaign ends, I haven't really even explored that with them. For one thing, like I was saying, that as you guys know, you have to wear so many hats when you do this stuff. And the hat I want to wear is the guy that writes and draws the stories. So I try to keep the idea about running another campaign for the same thing makes me just want to crawl up in a little ball. I enjoy the campaigns when I run them, but by the time the campaign is over, I want to get back to, I want to get on to the next story. So
yeah.
Right. I was just wondering, while the book goes to press and all, and on Kickstarter you could say follow along. Have you ever considered setting up an Indiegogo in-demand store that you can garner more backers while you're in production? Because tremendous. It's
Thanks. Well, I did that with a couple of campaigns ago. I did a big hardcover of Trekker from all those earlier stories I did in Dark Horse that are all out of print now. Oh, here. And it's a pretty thick critter. Anyway, so I did the campaign for that on Kickstarter, and then after that it was a big substantial book. So I did roll that one over, and I made one of the Indiegogo on demand campaigns for that, and it was successful. And honestly, I think that's one reason the next Kickstarter campaign probably did better. I think that a big hardcover catches certain eyes, number one, and number two, using the Indiegogo platform also probably put it in front of some eyes, because I know that there are some people that crowdfund comics and they like to go to one platform or the other. They only use Kickstarter, they only use Indiegogo as backers. I mean, that's where they go to when they're looking for a book to find. So it is a way to try to expand my Trekker readership, I guess is the best way to put it. So, so with me, it's the same. I mean, it's the same thing as like when a backer says, what would be great? It'd be great to have. I've got this coffee mug of Trekker that my wife gave me as a birthday present a couple years ago. And every once in a while, I'll post a picture of me with the coffee mug, when I'm doing a campaign, and people say, "Where can I get one of those mugs? That should be a stretch goal. That should be a yeah, but I don't make coffee mugs." So the next year for the 35th anniversary, I'm going to try to find whether it's Cafe Press or some way to make something available. But my point is that I'm taking a far too long a time to get to is that's just more other things that I could do. But every minute that I spend doing something that isn't drawing Trekker, in a way, to me is a waste of my time.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's not, and it's not really a waste of my time, and a certain amount of it is necessary to keep the Trekker train moving along. So I'm always having to weigh that. Okay, is this an investment of my time better spent there rather than trying to get trying to hone the next story, make it as good as possible? As you know, it's all about the story. It's all about getting the work done well and then present it to readers in the most effective way possible so they have a great experience reading and come back for the next one. But part of that is making the campaign successful. And the more readers I can find, the easier it is for me to just devote all my time to doing Trekker. And that's my hashtag is more Trekker more often. And that's my very overt agenda. I've only got one agenda, and that's it.
Nice.
So just trying to
and
find
this
the
is
best way to solve
actually
that. Yeah.
and this campaign is in the projects we love on Kickstarter too. So Kickstarter's been giving some recognition to this.
Yeah, I've been great. That's every one of mine has done that, and this one, like within a few hours of launching it, he got the Project We Love button, which is nice. Obviously,
Very nice. Very nice. Yours has that too, Caleb. Actually, Supercat had the Projects We Love button, which was great. But yeah, Ron, thanks so much for coming on. You know, like I said, the algorithm hid this. I just, I saw it the other day. I didn't even know the campaign was up. Your posts and stuff weren't coming through, and boom, here we go. We got it. But I made sure we got on your emailing list so we can keep in touch better with when your new campaigns launch. But I'm glad we got you on, even though you only got 23 hours left to go. I'm glad we were able to get you on the show. Help, for whoever's watching this live, and based on the other streams that are going on tonight, I'm sure we'll get many more viewers that are going to watch this recorded. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on and talking Trekker with us. I love what you do. I love your work, and it's good to see another campaigns up and this successful. This is fantastic.
Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate being able to come on the show, and you guys are great. I love what you're doing to support crowdfunding comics and independent comics. The mainstream market is what it is, and I, like Billy, I've spent time there. But what I'm doing now is, getting a chance to do my passion project, the thing that I really want my career to be about, and being able to reach readers directly, and where it's just so incredibly fulfilling to be able to do this. And so I appreciate having the platform to talk about it a bit. Looks like we're 2 more backers, and we can have that 900 backers. That would be sweet.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to happen. That'll happen.
Let's get a big push for the last 22 hours.
That'd be crazy if you get another.
Because when they say freedom ain't free, and you have this, you're right? I mean, so we've achieved, and Caleb, you achieve this sense of freedom, but it's a lot of work. Oh my God.
Yeah,
so much work.
Very good.
And it's like you're running a political campaign, and it's like,
yeah.
You don't want to bother people, right? But you want them to support your campaigns and all. And
yeah, but hey, before we go tonight, I do just want to pop up real quick. If you guys haven't or have already, head on over to Indiegogo. The She Omnibus Edition Volume 1 has 16 days left on your campaign. You're at $95,634 on Indiegogo. If Indiegogo is not your platform, please head on over to Kickstarter, where you can back She Omnibus Volume 1 Kickstarter exclusive. I'm
chasing Ron Randall.
There you go. You're chasing Ron Randall right now. So actually, you just got another backer too. Once I clicked it over, the thing popped up. You just got another backer. So head on over, check out She Omnibus Volume 1, and explore She, the Way of the Warrior.
Caleb, do you have any campaigns live now?
Flytrap is still up for another. I'm gonna leave it up in demand for another month while we finish up the coloring and lettering. So
we do a Flytrap show, Caleb.
We did it a while back, right? No.
He's like, we already did that, Billy.
Well, I wasn't there on it. I'm sorry. So
were you on it? No. Were you on for Flytrap?
I was not on Flytrap.
No.
Are you sure?
Actually, the same artist that did Nook did that one with me. So it's a time travel story, kind of Back to the Future Terminator mashup.
We could do we could do, and we could expand the audience even outside of comics. Let's do a time travel show.
Time travel.
And then,
I'll
by
have
the
to make
way,
like a special like transition thing where we're
yeah,
like
and
all
by the way,
warping.
let's segue into one of our hosts, Caleb Thusat's new book.
There you go.
Come on, Doc, and we'll all talk like people from Back to the Future. This book is amazing, Caleb.
Were you just doing Michael J. Fox though before that?
I tried.
Horrible. Really good.
I don't know how I only know one guy that can actually do it, and he's like a professional
Well,
voice
the funny thing is
actor.
that Ron Randall in 1985 dressed just like Marty McFly.
No.
I bet.
Marty dressed like me.
There you go. Boom.
There you go.
He was the original.
Mic drop. Boom. Well, Ron, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Caleb, thanks so much for hanging out. Glad
Yeah, for sure.
Supercats is a funded success. You got that on
Yeah.
Kickstarter. You've got, it'll be getting published through Scout Comics through Scoop. They're
Yeah.
subsidy for children's books and everything, which is awesome. I'm still in the process of getting our Scout episode ready. I've been talking to the founder of Scout via email, so we're going to actually get that episode up, which will be pretty cool.
Found
And,
Scout? Is that what you
Scout
said?
Comics. What'd you say?
Oh, Scout. I think you meant Tim Truman's Scout. Sorry.
No. And also, just a reminder: tomorrow night, 9:30, every Thursday, we have the Weekend Pop. Special guests are going to be Miss Mandy Summers and Pete Gilmore talking Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter.
That's awesome.
Which is cool because, to be honest, last time we had them on the show, we were chatting after the show, and Pete was like, Mandy, I have this great idea. I want to show you. And he's like, you know what, Nile? I trust you. You're friends of ours, blah, blah, blah. And he pulls up these concept sketches for Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter. So I've known about this before anybody. But I'm a vault,
Nice.
Billy. These
You were there
lips.
first.
Well, you never told me.
No, I didn't even tell you.
I talk to you like every day. So,
Yeah.
well, Ron. So Ron and Caleb, this was the concept, and it's Jack the Ripper Vampire Slayer, right? Vampire Hunter, and all 5 of the women. There's no family members or anything like that. The poor prostitutes that he slayed, they were actually vampires.
Yeah, I like
Too soon?
that.
It's pretty cool.
I think
pretty
it's
badass.
really-
I think it's pretty
I think
badass.
it's a grindhouse, Andy
Yes.
Warhol-esque, early Roman Polanski type of
Mhm.
iconic film, which could be just perfect and work.
Yeah, and then we got TJ James is asking, is Ron or Caleb going to be at any upcoming shows?
Caleb, you go ahead.
I have a couple small shows that are coming up in the Ohio area, and then I'll be making an appearance at New York Comic Con because that will be the premiere of Supercats on Scoot Comics. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'll be there for a Supercats Saturday. But,
Nice. I'll see you there, buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. The only one I've got on the slate right now is the show here in Portland, my hometown, the Rose City Comic Con. That's September,
Yeah, nice.
and I'll be at that one.
Are you in
it's just,
Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine?
Yeah, yep,
Oregon.
Oregon.
Oh, geez.
yeah.
How's it
Way
going over there?
Oregon. Oregon, Billy.
Oregon.
There he goes, Portland, Oregon?
Did I say Oregon?
Yeah, you're like,
Oregon.
are you in
Oh,
Oregon?
How's it going over there?
It's going okay. We've it's hotter than we want it to be, but so far the forest fire smoke hasn't put a ceiling over the city this year like it did last year. So we're thankful for that and keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But it's not, it ain't like it used to be.
Yeah.
All right.
That's for sure. All right, everyone. Well, hey, thanks so much again. Everyone, share those campaigns that were on the show tonight. Links are in the description below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Share the channel. We have well over 400 episodes that you guys can watch with some great interviews with many great mainstream creators, indie creators, television, film stars, and just some great hangout shows and streams as well that you can check out. And we have hundreds of more shows coming in tutorials, which is going to be cool. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, click that bell. Other than that, we will see you all tomorrow night for the Weekend Pop. And then after that, we'll see you all next week. So Ron, have yourselves a great night. Good luck with the end of the campaign.
Thanks, guys.
Caleb, as always,
Thank
it's a
you.
pleasure.
Congratulations,
And I will be in
Ron.
touch. Yeah,
very
congratulations,
much.
Caleb and Ron. Good job.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks, bye,
everyone. Have
guys.
yourselves a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone. Thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.